केचिदाहुरजं जातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्य अन्ववाये मलयस्यैव चन्दनम् केचिदाहुरजं जातं पुण्यश्लोकस्य कीर्तये यदो प्रियस्य अन्ववाये मलयस्यैव चन्दनम्. Synonyms: Kechit, someone. Ahu, says. Ajam, the unborn. Jatam, being born. Punya Shlokasya, of the great pious king. Kirtaye, for glorifying. Yadho, of King Yadu. Priyasya, of the dear. Anvavaye, in the family of. Malayasya, Malaya Hills. Iva, as. Chandanam, sandalwood. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in this family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya Hills. Please repeat. Some say that the unborn is born for the glorification of pious kings, and others say that he is born to please King Yadu, one of your dearest devotees. You appear in his family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya Hills. Purport. Because the Lord's appearance in this material world is bewildering, there are different opinions about the birth of the unborn. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that He takes His birth in the material world, although He is the Lord of all creations and He is unborn. So, there cannot be any denial of the birth of the unborn because He Himself establishes the truth. But still, there are different opinions as to why He takes His birth. That is also declared in the Bhagavad Gita. He appears by His own internal potency to re-establish the principles of religion and to protect the pious and to annihilate the impious. This is the mission of the appearance of the unborn. Still, it is said that the Lord is there to glorify the pious King Yudhishthira. Lord Sri Krishna certainly wanted to establish the kingdom of Pandavas for the good of all the world. When there is a pious king ruling over the world, the people are happy. When the ruler is impious, the people are unhappy. In the age of Kali, in most cases, the rulers are impious, and therefore the citizens are also continuously unhappy. But in the case of democracy, the impious citizens themselves elect their representatives to rule over them, and therefore they cannot blame anyone for their unhappiness. Maharaj Nala was also celebrated as the great pious king, but he had no connection with Lord Krishna. Therefore, Maharaj Yudhishthira is meant here to be glorified by Lord Krishna. The Lord has already glorified King Yadu, having taken birth in his family. Although he is known as Yadava, Yaduvira, Yadunandana, etc., he is always independent of such obligation. He is just like the sandalwood that grows in the Malaya Hills. Trees can grow anywhere and everywhere, yet because the sandalwood trees grow mostly in the areas of the Malaya Hills, the name sandalwood and the Malaya Hills are interrelated. Therefore, the conclusion is that The Lord is even unborn like the sun, and yet he appears as the sun rises on the eastern horizon. As the sun is never the sun of an eastern horizon, so the Lord is no one's son, but he is the father of everything that be. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading the prayer verses from the prayers offered by Queen Kunti. So this is a context where Krishna wound up his pastimes in Kurukshetra and Hastinapura, and he is heading back to Dwarka after finishing the war in Kurukshetra. So that's how, while going, as he was seeing all the relatives, when he came across Kunti, and Kunti started offering these exalted prayers, which some of these are very much explaining the state or the position of Lord Krishna. These examples or these principles or these slokas will actually give us an idea how a devotee should be praying to the Lord. What are the qualities that we should be praying with? So here, in this particular verse, Kunti is saying, Kechidahur ajam jatam. Someone says the unborn is born. As a spirit soul, we all know there is no birth and no death. Similarly, as the Supreme Lord, if spirit soul being part and parcel of the Lord of course has no birth and death. So, but why does he take birth again in this world is the context that Kunti is addressing. Kunti is saying, somebody says the unborn is born, and why did he take birth? Just to please the King Yadu and some of the dearest devotees. So the context that we should bring in is, Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, he says in 4.6, he says, Ajo pisan avyayatma bhutanam ishvaro pisan prakritim swam adhistaya swambhavami atmamaya. He says Ajo again. Aja means unborn. Even though I am unborn, I come into this world, Sambhavami, I again come again with Atmamaya. How does he come? With his own internal energy. He has his own way of coming. We are also in this world. We come in certain way, and Lord comes in his own internal energy. So the difference between us and the Lord is we have little independence that we can choose the way we want to come, but Lord, having been the Supreme Lord, he has his own way of coming. The difference is he comes on his own sweet will, unlike us. So many people, not understanding this point, they sometimes deride Lord Krishna of so many things that when he was here and so forth. So the very existence or very coming, in fact, here the word that is used here is, he appears by his own internal potency to establish the principles of religion and to protect the pious and to annihilate the impious. That is the mission of the appearance of the unborn. Prabhupada very nicely coins out this word for our understanding that when we come into this world, we are used with the words birth. But when Lord comes, we use the word appearance. That makes the distinction that He, on His own will, He comes. So now the question is, what do people have in their opinion of Lord coming into this world? Some people say the unborn is born because he has also come under the material energy, under the clutches of material energy. We are all in the clutches of material energy, and some of them think that Lord has also come under material clutches. So why does this belief come in is when Lord acts in this world, some of the acts will be very similar to the human beings. Sometimes when some of his relatives or his acquaintance get little perturbed, he also gets perturbed, appears like that. Shri Radha Govinda Ki. So the very fact, this is just to bewilder the atheists, because the atheists or the impersonalists and so forth, they don't believe in Lord as the supreme Lord and he has his beautiful Shama Sundara form. They don't believe in that. So just to have them have their own will, because this world is in a place where they can deride Lord, not officially but on their own whims. So that's where very nicely Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord says that He takes His birth in the material world, although He is the Lord of all creations and He is unborn. So there cannot be any denial of the birth of the unborn, because He Himself establishes the truth. There is no denial that He hasn't come here. He has come. He did come. But still there are different opinions on to why He has to take birth. That is also declared in the Bhagavad Gita. So we know this famous word. Why did Lord come into this world? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So He comes for this purpose. What is that? Paritranaya sadhunam, to upkeep the sadhus. Vinashaya duskritam, to annihilate the demons or like that. So He has no other purpose. So we may have some purposes to achieve in this world. I want to achieve so and so. I want to achieve so and so in this year or in the coming years. But Lord, He has no other purpose than to upkeep the sadhus. He has ardent devotion for the Lord, devotees, just like the pure devotees have ardent devotion to Lord. So it is told, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. So it says, Natasya karyam, there is no karya for Him. There is no specific duty for Him to come, that He has to personally come and execute. No. He has His multifarious energies, through them He gets it done. But why does He come? That's the question that is being pointed here by Kunti, that you come only to please your devotees. Here especially mentioned as King Yadu. King Yadu, from whose lineage this Yadava family comes, and Lord Krishna comes in the womb of Devaki and Vasudev, glorifying the Yadu family. And one of your dearest devotee, you appear in the family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya Hills. So this correlation or the example or interrelation is very interesting. Kunti says, you appear in this family as sandalwood appears in the Malaya Hills. What's the analogy here? Sandalwood, as we know, is very special. No? every day we apply to the Lord's lotus feet with tulsi, and then we get to, have those blessings of Lord, Chandan. And it's very special. It has fragrance. It has its own, that keeps the body cool, and it has its own special qualities that will calm the mind, wherein we can understand something sublime. So these qualities, why is it told that you appear in the family of Yadu as the sandalwood appears in Malaya Hills? We all know Malaya Hills are the place where now the Malaysia is there. So Malaya, even sandalwood they are not just in Malaya Hills or Malaysia more, but across the world, right? Even in some forests, in some parts of Karnataka and so forth, we hear there are immense sandalwood that being grown. So just that the wood has grown, sandalwood has grown there, it has become Malaya Chandan. Chandan has got that word or Malaysia or Malaya as an interrelation. It is similarly just that Lord came into Yadava family. So here it is there. The Lord has already glorified King Yadu, having taken birth in his family. Although he is known as Yadava, Yaduvira, Yadunandana, etc., he is always independent of such obligation. There was no obligation for the Lord to take birth in Yadava family. No. Then why did he take birth there? He is just like the sandalwood that grows in Malaya Hills. Trees can grow anywhere and everywhere, yet because the sandalwood tree grows mostly in the area of Malaya Hills, the name sandalwood and Malaya Hills are interrelated. Therefore, the conclusion is that Lord is even unborn like the sun, and yet he appears as the sun rising in the eastern horizon. It is own sweet will to glorify Yudhishthira and their descendants that Lord has appeared in the Yadu family, but it was not an obligation, but it is just to glorify the devotees. Now, there are many people we come across, they proudly say, we are from Yadava family. Right? So that the very significance of Krishna coming in is still prevalent. So just Krishna comes into this family or this Yadu family, it is still glorified. Similarly, it is one who gets acquainted with or associated with the Lord or his devotee automatically gets glorified. One more interesting. When I was reading this, just as Malaya Hills and the sandalwood are correlated, I recall some time back. Say for example, you have a paper like this, and you want one more copy of this. What would you do? You tell somebody or you go yourself and say, get it xeroxed, right? But actually, perhaps some of you must be knowing, Xerox is not the right word. It is actually a company name which produces the machine. It is so much correlative that everybody started using, get it xeroxed. But actually it's called photocopy. Perhaps many of must you not be knowing. So the word Xerox is so much, the company name is so much correlative to the word of photocopy that everybody starts writing as Xerox. So similarly, it is the Lord. He doesn't have to correlate with anything. He can come and glorify something. Similarly, initial days, there was a company called Dalda. that produces vanaspati. But the word dalda and vanaspati are so much correlative, they think dalda is actually some substance. It's actually company's name. So people are, okay, if somebody doesn't know, he will think, okay, this is a product. Similarly, this world, everybody thinks on their own, Lord is like this, Lord is like that. They have their own opinions. They don't want to go by the opinions of great, exalted devotees. So it is one's ignorance that makes their own world. It shouldn't be like that. It can be through the scriptures. Then we know what it is. When we talk, when we speak, it is told a person is intelligent as long as he doesn't speak. Something like that. As soon as he speaks, we know what is his status. So similarly, we cannot be just going away by the opinions people give, let they be very, very famous or whatever criteria people have. But it cannot be like that. So here it is very told, therefore the conclusion is that Lord is even unborn like the sun, and yet he appears as the sun rises in the eastern horizon. We use this word very often. Sun rises in the east. Is that to this world or every planet? It is just for this planet probably. Or there are many other universes depending on their own suns and may not be very specific to the rising of sun in the eastern side. It is just that in this world, sun is rising in the east. It doesn't mean, in fact, the other way, it is not that sun is rising or sun is setting. It is the earth that is moving across, but actually sun is not so much moving as much as the earth is moving. It is just a saying, okay, sun rises in the east, sun sets in the west. Not like that. So it may not be truly, as per the diacritics or the statement goes, it may not be correct. But people go by the statement and just take it for granted. So one may not be taking granted. So just now when we read this story that people took that Bhagavata, that king especially took that Bhagavata to be ghost because everybody told, oh, he's ghost, he has already died, why did you? So he just went on. So one cannot be like that. One has to spend time in understanding how these acharyas are explaining about Lord. Many people have some aspect of Brahman, Paramatman. They are true, but in the right perspective, you have to see Lord as this Shyama Sundara form, having an Aja. He is unborn, but yet he takes birth just to please his devotees. I'll just conclude with one more statement. Just like a devotee, this is Prabhupada's conversation. Just like a devotee has nothing to expect serving Krishna, except to see Krishna is pleased. Similarly, Krishna has nothing to do, but he wants to glorify his devotees. If you dedicate your life for glorifying the Supreme Lord, the Lord is also ready. His business is to glorify you. Otherwise, he has no business. So, Lord coming onto this world, the unborn coming as born, is only to glorify devotees and no other reason, unlike many other reasons specifically mentioned. It is just the intent that how much devotees are bent upon him, Lord is also bent upon the devotees. That's why glorifying Devaki, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Arjun, and so forth. I'll stop here if you have any questions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.